You're watching CBC TV 8 in beautiful Barbados.
Very good afternoon. I'm Lisa Broom with the CBC News Break. Amid mounting concerns, leaders of shareholder governments of regional airline LIAT are meeting in Barbados. That meeting got underway this morning at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre. It's being chaired by Barbados's Prime Minister Fendel Stewart. Also in attendance are Chairman of the Shareholder Government and Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, and Barbados's Minister of Tourism and International Transport, Richard Seeley. Now, recently, Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt called on LIAT to show more compassion to passengers. St. Lucia, meanwhile, was leaning more towards Caribbean Airlines and designating CAL as its national carrier. A service marking LIAT's 60th anniversary was held over the weekend here in Barbados. At that service, a senior official in the Ministry of Tourism and International Transport said there is no doubting the importance of LIAT as a carrier. She assured that the airline will be able to meet the demand of travelers. Had government owned the majority of lands laying idle, the Ministry of Agriculture would have put them to good use. According to Minister of Agriculture Dr. David Estwick, the government has been unfairly criticized when land is privately held.
The government does not own 90% of the lands that you now see lying fallow. I wish we owned them, because I can assure you that I will utilize the strong skills of the Barbados Agricultural Management Company and the BADMC to try to improve output as much as I can. But because we are a democracy and we are practicing a mixed economy where there are private sector owned assets, what this ministry can do and continue to do is to attempt to encourage the private sector not to allow those lands to stay fallow.
Dr. Estwick says farmers and private landowners must be made to understand that by leaving the lands fallow, they're contributing to Barbados's food insecurity.
And I am trying to say to you that utilize the incentive systems that we have, utilize the rebate systems that we have, and come on board.
Meantime, Permanent Secretary in that ministry, Esworth Reid, says major stakeholders, government and other entities should actively implement strategies and work together as climate change is having an impact on the agricultural sector.
Even signs of change are being seen in the fish species that we have in the waters around us, where we can possibly be losing some traditional species to the lionfish that have recently migrated to our waters. This is notwithstanding the erratic behavior in weather conditions that we are also witnessing and that have the potential to devastate our agriculture sector through the impact of prolonged droughts or floods. Setting up talk shop committees and holding meeting after meeting to talk the same thing over and over about what we are planning to do is not how to deal with the problem.
Police are searching for a man they say is wanted in connection with serious criminal matters. 42-year-old David Anderson McDonald Reeves is being advised that he can present himself to the police accompanied by an attorney at law of his choice or a family member. Reeves of Holders Land, Kew Road, Bank Hall, St. Michael is about 5 feet 9 inches tall, of slim build, dark complexion, and has an average nose, ears and eyes and unkempt hair. Any person who may know the whereabouts of David Anderson McDonald Reeves is asked to contact the police emergency at telephone number 211, Crime Stoppers at 1-800-8477, CID Central at 430-7189, or the nearest police station. Bad hand hygiene practices in hospitals can undo all the work that has been done to improve healthcare in Barbados. This warning from Dr. Corey Ford, head of the Infection Control Department at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. He was speaking to the media on the sidelines of the ongoing conference on infection control.
It's something that we do well and we're taught, that we should do as children. But I think when we grow up as adults, we forget the whole basis of hand hygiene. But if our kids, for example, if they're at home and they touching stuff and they go outside and they play in the mud and they come in, we whack them and we tell them, hey, you should be using proper hand hygiene. But we as adults, we forget. And this is one of the things that I really want to stress. Despite all of the fancy equipment, the new technology that's out there, if we do not get infection control one-on-one together, we will all fail.
Well, Dr. Ford says Barbados has done well among its Caribbean neighbors in equipping the hospital to control infectious diseases thanks to a special program.
This program really will benefit us in the hospital from the area of costs, cutting costs in the hospital in terms of antibiotics, but it also protects our population in the hospital from the spread of very resistant bugs. If we use antibiotics widely and wildly within the public arena, within our hospitals, we have the risk of having a larger amount of resistant bugs which can spread around the hospital.
Well, Barbadians wanting to find out about reversing diabetes have a chance to do so this Thursday. That's when the Moravian Church of Barbados and the Barbados Pharmaceutical Society will host a doctor's lecture on diabetes reversal. Senior Vice President of the Pharmaceutical Society, Cecil Ford, says it should be an eye-opener for those who believe diabetes has no cure.
We were trained and told that once you have diabetes, you have it for life. Now we are understanding a lot more of it. We're even understanding now that there is a cure where you can actually have diabetes reversed. In planning this topic, and even in speaking to some people, they ask the question, oh, can diabetes be really cured? We're telling them yes. Once persons are willing and committed, because those are the key factors, willing and commitment to the lifestyle change.
And Reverend Vera Waith of the Moravian Church says the lecture is one way for the church to give back during nationwide independence celebrations.
As a country, as a nation, we have made so many gains, but something like diabetes now threatens so many of our people that, like all the other persons, we as a church are extremely concerned. As you know, we have access to many persons who are suffering from this disease, and we have to cater to them on a daily basis and are fully aware of the complications associated with this disease.
We'll take a break here, but when we come back, regional and international news. Stay with us.